You know when you're watching something with someone else,
Yeah.
and you're constantly looking at them to gauge their response because you love this, and maybe you shouldn't love it because they might not like it, and maybe they'll judge you for liking it, things like that.
Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure for sure.
I'm wondering how much of that was affecting some of the voice messages that you were sending me. I'm interested to know what you think, and it might not like it, but
Why do I sound like this? What? You have a cold open for us.
I do, but it's not going to be a particularly long one. It was just that while I was watching today's movie, I was noticing just how Gabriel Byrne gives a very risky performance, I was going to say.
I think it's
great. No, I think it's great.
I'm not the bad guy.
I think that
it's a sinister performance. He's clearly enjoying being
sinister's not the word I would have used.
No, what would you have used?
Rapey.
He's horny Satan.
He's very horny Satan.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking about that was there's so many levels of villain portrayal, right? And there are those times where it's like more cartoony, and then you've got something like Silence of the Lambs, which is very creepy, but it's not necessarily someone who could be standing behind you in line at the.
That's interesting.
At the counter.
If you look at Brian Cox's version of Hannibal Lecter,
But you might be curious to see if you're smarter than the person I'm looking for.
Then by implication, you think you're smarter than me since you caught me.
No. I know that I'm not smarter than you.
Then how did you catch me?
You had disadvantages.
What disadvantages?
You're insane.
and then you look at Anthony Hopkins' version.
You think you're smarter than I am, since it was you who caught me.
No, I know I'm not smarter than you.
Then how did you catch me?
You had disadvantages.
What disadvantages?
You're insane.
Anthony Hopkins' version would be considered, by comparison, the less realistic of the two.
Yeah, it's very sort of stylized. And then you look at Mads Mikkelsen, and his portrayal is very tangible, and he feels like he could be standing behind you in line at the counter.
You'd never have turned yourself in unless I rejected you.
I believe that's what they call a mic drop. You drop the mic, Will. But here you are, having to come back and pick it up again.
Then I was kind of like looking around, I was like, going through the classics, like Hans Landa. What makes his performance so affecting? Because that's also very stylized and very theatrical, but there are those moments where he goes very quiet or where you're not quite sure what he's thinking, and that is where that performance really sings to me.
Right.
And then you've got something like, Jesse Plemons in Civil War, and the thing about that performance is that it's just not flamboyant at all. He's playing a soldier who's standing next to a mass grave, and he's very racist.
Right.
He's very still. His performance is really, really still and cold. And then when he does something, it's incredibly scary.
This guy's your colleague? This guy here? Yes, sir. He's my... That guy?
He shoots a couple of characters that, up until this point in the movie were, main characters. So there's a quiet to his performance, which I also felt there was a lot of quiet in Gabriel Byrne's performance, but also a lot of camp. So I just wanted to know, like, what kind of evil performances affected you, and what is it that kind of, because when evil feels plausible to me, or it feels genuine, so it feels personal. And that's something that not every actor can sort of distill.
It's interesting that you bring up Christoph Waltz's Hans Landa, because that is the epitome of what I'm about to talk about. Is that I feel like for a villain to be truly sinister, they need to be, first of all, cloaked in a personality that they're sort of disarming, yeah. And then you need to see them, they need to seem harmless, and then you need to see them doing something horrific. And the first thing that we see with Hans Landa is that he's very sort of genial and, Monsieur Le Petit.
But there is not a moment when he's being genial that you aren't aware of the danger.
Because you know what he is.
Yeah.
And you know who he is. And he's talking about it, but he's talking about it in a way that juxtaposes, the content of what he's saying with how he's saying it.
The feature that makes me such an effective hunter of the Jews is, as opposed to most German soldiers, I can think like a Jew, where they can only think like a German. More precisely, a German soldier.
It's a very masterful performance, but I would also say it's very masterfully written by Tarantino.
Sure.
And so you don't really see him doing anything as evil as he does at the beginning of the movie until we get to the very, very end. But you know what he is. Like, he's done something, and you've seen it as an audience member. You've seen it, and you know that he's dangerous.
You're sheltering enemies of the state, are you not?
Yes.
You're sheltering them underneath your floorboards, aren't you?
Yes.
And the more that he plays possum, the more dangerous he is.
Yeah.
Because you know that he can erupt at any moment. I would put Hans Gruber on that list as well. I think that he's a wolf in sheep's clothing, dressed in a suit.
Nice suit. John Phillips, London. I have two myself.
He's extremely dangerous. And as an audience member, we know he's extremely dangerous, but we also, we're kind of like charmed by this guy, right?
Yeah.
Which is why he's such a beloved villain. And if you take the flip side of that, that's the Sheriff of Nottingham, which is written and played much more like a pantomime villain.
Sure.
And it goes over the top.
Cancel the kitchen scraps for lepers and orphans. No more merciful beheadings. And call off Christmas.
I'm not taking anything away from it. It's a great performance. It's a lot of fun, but the tone of it is completely different.
It's not about sinister. Whether the performance is good or not. It's about whether the performance is designed to make you feel like you're in danger,
right?
Or the performance is designed to make you feel like he needs to be taken down,
right?
Both performances have sinister notes to them. Mm-hmm. When you look at something like Hans Landa, you know, he's not only got to be taken down the moment you see him because he's wearing a Nazi uniform,
an SS uniform.
Yeah,
in fact,
exactly.
Yeah.
But just from his oily kind of way
demeanor,
of talking and his demeanor, you're already like going, you know, and that's
and the way that he drinks the milk, the way that he talks to his daughters.
Yeah, it's all very designed to personally make you go, I don't feel safe. Like, I remember watching it. I think I was with you watching it in the cinema. I'm not sure.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I was squirming.
Yeah,
I was
really we did
squirming.
go to see it together. Yeah. I just remember when I was a kid, there were people in my class who were bullies, and they were always bullies, right? Mm-hmm. But then they'd put their arm around you and they'd say, Johnny, mate, let's come and have a talk. And they would try and charm you. Mm-hmm. They had that kind of like, I don't know if they're still that way. They're probably really nice people now. But they had that sociopathic element to their personalities. And every time I see that in a movie, that really makes me kind of... It really makes me shiver, like a little cold like shiver down my spine, because you know that person is like charming somebody to get what they want, or charming somebody into a false sense of security before doing something really awful to them.
It's also on a much smaller scale, right? Micro scale, when you have like someone saying to you, I'm telling you this as a friend, but they're not your friend.
Right,
and they're telling you something a second later that's going to hurt your feelings. Like, no, with friends like these, who needs enemies, right?
Right.
So... it's on a much smaller scale, but I get that whole, they put their arm around you. It's like, oh, it's only a joke, Johnny. Why are you getting offended?
Exactly.
Why are you getting, and it's gaslighting.
Yeah, it's gaslighting, and it's also it's traumatic.
And if you want to be therapized by us because you were bullied in school, all you need is a crayon.
If you want to like take that to the complete opposite side of sinister, Gustav Graves.
Aren't you trying out for a place in the British Olympic fencing team? We hear you've been training furiously.
Oh, I never get furious. As they say in fencing, what's the point?
Is a performance that is so over the top and so hammy and so scenery chewing.
Oh, look! Parachutes for the both of us! Whoops! Not anymore!
Let's be honest, he's the best thing in that movie, but not for a second did I ever think, oh, danger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You amuse me, Mr. Bond.
Yeah.
You amuse me, Mr. Bond.
Well, it's not mutual.
Also, Christopher Walken, hard to take seriously as a Bond villain.
Actually, as a Bond villain, yes, but if you look at him in True Romance, that is exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. Is that he sits down and he has a conversation with Dennis Hopper's character, and you know that this is not going to end well, but they're having a conversation and they're laughing together, and it ends with him like shooting him.
Beautiful. I haven't killed anybody since 1984.
So
you know exactly where that scene is going as soon as the door opens.
So yeah, I mean, Christopher Walken was able to do that before he became a caricature of himself.
Sure.
But yeah. Anyway, shall we have an episode?
Let's do it.
Come on, do it now!
What's our seat number?
Hello and welcome to What's Our Seat Number, the show that's been described by some as inconsistent at best. I'm Johnny Gross, a filmmaker who thinks he knows bad but is just a choir boy compared to my co-host and brother. He's a 3D artist who eats misery for breakfast, disappointment for dinner, and bakes himself into humble pies for dessert. He has much hatred and vengeance in his heart, and he's threatened to take a shit right there in the street just to make a point. It's Simon Gross!
You know, that's actually true. I think I sent you a message last week saying, I
did indeed.
I'm literally going to shit right here where I'm standing if people don't stop upsetting me.
Let's have some movie news.
Movie news.
The first few items of movie news are basically just to show the lack of originality in Hollywood today. They are movies that are in the works, or at least being talked about. David Fincher and Brad Pitt's The Adventures of Cliff Booth, which is the spin-off of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So it's very interesting that David Fincher is taking on this project, considering that it's a Tarantino property. It's circling a summer 2026 release. And it's interesting, but again, it's something that's connected to something else.
It's not original. Okay.
It's not original. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be bad.
It doesn't need to be taken out, back and shot, does it?
No, it doesn't need to be taken out, back and shot. But I think that the next few things are going to make you go...
Take it out, back and shoot it.
Take it out, back and shoot it. Joseph Kosinski is trying to get together a Miami Vice movie, possibly starring Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler.
So maybe we take it out, back and shoot it, okay?
Yeah. This is possibly a candidate for the Sahanta You Persist Award.
Sure.
Ty West, the director of X and Maxine and Pearl, is going to be directing A Christmas Carol starring Johnny Depp and Andrea Riseborough.
No.
Come and get your Sir Hunter You Persist award.
Sir Hunter, you persist.
It's really not necessary.
What?
Any more Christmas carols?
Yeah,
I feel it's been done enough.
It's been done so much. And I'm sure that everybody will have their one definitive Christmas carol that they'll say, this is my Christmas carol. And how many times do you need to remake it again? How many more takes?
What is there to say?
What is there
to say?
However, I will say on the flip side of that, devil's advocate style, I am very, very excited to see Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Sure.
Yeah. And Nosferatu by Robert Eggers was really good, but
you look at specific directors and you go, I don't care if they're doing a remake of Pinocchio, that's going to be a different take.
Right.
Guillermo is...
Guillermo.
I know, but I do it on purpose because I like saying
Guillermo
like
del Toro's Pinocchio is highly...
No, say it with me. Guillermo.
It's highly... Guillermo. He's not Italian. She's Italian? That's Nosferatu. And we're back again. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio was highly original. And I think that there are certain directors where if they're going to take something like that on... Look, Steven Spielberg takes on a remake of West Side Story. You don't say, oh, I don't think you're going to do that. No, because Steven Spielberg knows what he's doing.
I did.
You did? At the very least, when I saw the trailer and I saw the shots that Janusz Kaminski was getting out of that thing, it's a very different movie from the 1961 movie, and it had something new to say, I thought. Splendid, I thought. What did you think?
I thought splendid. What did you think?
Splendid, I thought. So here's another one that might possibly get taken out, back and shot, and also might be a candidate for the Sir Hunter You Persist Award.
Oh, wow, okay.
2 Sir Hunter You Persist Awards. It's okay, I've got a whole trunk full of them in the back. Thora Birch is super open to the idea of returning for a Hocus Pocus 3 after missing out on Hocus Pocus 2 back in 2022.
No! I'm good. Sorry.
Apparently, there is a script which Bette Midler has described as brilliant.
I can't breathe. Hate it. I can't.
I hate this.
Don't you quote me to me. I'm just saying. It has to stop.
It's just every fucking thing and fucking always. Okay. So what do we think about that?
Johnny likes it when I go off the handles and I fly off the handlebars.
Brilliant. I put a whole deleted scene in there on YouTube for you guys to check out just because he went nuts and I just wanted you guys to see it.
It's not as bad as he's making it. It's pretty bad. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, so Hocus Pocus 3,
No, thank you. Take it out back, shoot it.
We're giving Hocus Pocus 3 the Sir Hunter You Persist Award?
Sure.
They are persisting.
It really does not need any more persistence.
Yes.
Sir Hunter, you persist.
My final news item for today, Megalopolis megaflop status has driven Francis Ford Coppola to desperate measures. So the movie
Go back to the club.
The movie cost $120 million. It was around about Apocalypse Now that he had this idea and he's been trying to get it made ever since.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they spend $120 million on it of his own money, which then ended up grossing about $14.3 million, which is a huge shame.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I've seen clips of the movie. I haven't watched the movie yet, but by all accounts, it's terrible.
Entitles me?
Yes.
Entitles me?
Yes.
Entitles me?
Yes.
And it makes me sad because this is the man that directed The Godfather, The Conversation, Apocalypse Now. These are like, amazing movies that even, Dracula. I'd put in, is a great movie. He's a very highly respected director, and this is where he is now. He's hawking watches in auctions.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. He's selling 7 luxury watches from his personal collection in an auction ranging from $120,000 to $1 million, and that's what he's got to do now to make ends meet. It's a big shame. Anyway, that was movie news. Movie news.
This is a sequel quiz.
Oh.
Not meaning that the quiz is about sequels. I mean, we did a quiz called the Neg Quiz in the Conan episode.
Okay.
Right, because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, so the Neg Quiz.
Mm-hmm.
So this is called the Neg Quiz, Part 2. So it's very similar to last time. I'm going to give you Schwarzenegger quotes. I'm going to read them regular-like, and you're going to complete the quote and tell me the name of the movie. These are the rules. You're going to complete the quote and tell me the name of the movie
and then
in Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice.
Right. Okay.
I'm not the pervert.
I'm not the pervert. I have no idea what that's from.
I was just looking for a Doberman doll.
Oh, it's
movie?
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
I'm not a pervert. I just was looking for Doberman doll.
Crom laughs at your...
Crom laughs at your... fart. Yeah.
I can see why that was misleading to you. I meant wind.
Right.
Crom laughs at your 4 winds.
Oh, your 4 okay.
Conan
the Barbarian.
Crom laughs at your 4 winds.
Have you ever killed anyone?
Yeah, but they were all bad.
Have you ever killed anyone?
Yeah, but they were all bad.
True lies.
True lies. This Green Beret is going to kick your big ass.
This Green Beret is going to kick your ass.
No, that's not... The other character says...
The other character
this
says...
This Green Beret is going to kick your big ass.
Is that Commando?
It is Commando, but can you say what iconic line Arnold Schwarzenegger says?
Let off some steam, Bennett.
I eat green... I'm not going to do the thing. I eat Green Beret for breakfast, and right now, I'm very hungry.
Because the Green Beret's going to kick your big ass.
I eat Green Berets for breakfast. And right now, I'm very hungry.
I've only seen that movie once, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know who I am.
I know who I am. I'm the famous comedian Arnold Braunschweiger.
Schwarzenegger.
Gesundheit.
You think you're funny, don't you?
I know I am. I'm the famous comedian Arnold Braunschweiger.
Schwarzenegger.
Gesundheit.
Yeah. I knew
Last
that
Action Hero.
So this is actually one that I didn't know, but I was just looking through videos Arnold Schwarzenegger saying funny things, and I thought this was really funny. You should not drink.
Wine.
No. So it's a movie called Raw Deal.
Oh.
His wife throws a massive cake at his head, and he dodges out the way, and then he looks at her and he goes,
You should not drink and bake.
I died. It was so funny.
Okay.
This is one of your favorite quotes. I threw this one in here just for fun. Hey, you want to be a farmer?
Here's a couple of acres.
Hey, you want to be a farmer? Here's a couple of acres.
Great. Last Action Hero. If it bleeds.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Okay. Good.
Predator.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Which my father allowed me to watch when I was much too young.
I don't remember the line before this, but I can tell you what he does. I believe he throws another character up against a car window before yelling this at him.
Okay. Stop cheering me up.
You are a legend, my friend. You are a legend.
Stop cheering me up.
This is right before he shoots his wife.
Consider the divorce.
You really
Total
are a
Recall.
scholar, aren't you?
You wouldn't hurt me, would you, sweetheart? After all, we're married.
Consider that a divorce.
I don't know how many you got. It's just have the. So that is the Neg quiz, and congratulations, you did very well.
Today's movie is End of Days. And as you can tell from all of this, like, we're still in the Halloween-y vibe, even though this probably won't come out anywhere near Halloween. But it's got a you know, it's a horror movie.
Would you say
maybe
it's a horror movie?
It's
very dark.
It is.
Not...
I think it is a horror movie. I think it's a horror movie that they tried to hybrid with an action movie.
Is Constantine a horror movie?
No. But I think this has more horror. It has more horror elements in this than Constantine does. Constantine is a little bit more. Is a bit lighter. It's more PG-13, and this is a hard R.
Yeah.
It's kind of like The Omen meets an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, which is, you know, the idea, and Rosemary's Baby as well. There's a bit of that in there too. I did have some general thoughts about this, but before we go into that, here's the trailer.
Let her go.
Okay, that was fun. I just wanted to put a little bit of that in there, but not all of it, because I'll get slapped with a copyright notice.
We would hate that.
Oh my God. And the Wild Wild West episode, I had to try it a few times before it actually let it go. Before the notes, and just the general thoughts about the movie that I wanted to put to you. Now, this was your... Oh, you want to do context first?
I don't have any
You don't
context.
have context.
The only
because
context...
you've never seen this before. And that surprised me.
I'd convinced myself that I had seen it because I could remember that opening with Gabriel Byrne in the restaurant, and he walks out and the restaurant explodes.
Right.
The way that he looks at the guy after he kisses his wife, and he gives him like, ooh, you know. Yeah. I remembered that scene, and I was just like, oh, it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and I must have seen it because I remember this bit, so you know, whatever. But you know, obviously, having watched the movie, I've not seen it. You'd
never seen it before. My context is that it's the first movie I ever bought on DVD.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd seen it. I don't think I saw it in the cinema, but I bought a DVD player. And with that DVD player, I had a choice of two movies, and I bought that and Blue Streak. And
really good choices.
Those were the first, and Blue Streak I had seen in the cinema. Those were my first two DVDs. You saw
Blue Streak in the cinema?
Yeah, I saw Blue Streak in the cinema with friends.
Fun.
So yeah, that was it was a surprise, Blue Streak in the cinema, because like I went to see it and I thought this is going to be absolute rubbish, and it turned out to be.
You loved it, yeah.
Huge amount of fun, and that DVD got a lot of play, and so did End of Days. That's my context. Give me your general thoughts before we start. Did you enjoy the movie?
I loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm happy about that.
I think that you were kind of, you know, when you're watching something with someone else, and you're constantly looking at them to gauge their response, because you love this, and maybe you shouldn't love it because they might not like it, and you know, maybe they'll judge you for liking it, things like that.
Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure for sure.
I'm wondering how much of that was affecting some of the voice messages that you were sending me about how, you know, like I'm interested to know what you think, and it might not like it, but
What do I sound like this? What?
What I was going to say is that I actually disagree with you. I think that he is miscast. 100% this wasn't written for him.
Yeah.
And that's quite clear. But
at the
his
end of the day,
performance in it is actually really good. In moments.
Yeah. The wisecracking seems to have been written for an American actor.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like something more like Bruce Willis would say.
I thought that some of the more emotional and things that I think are very risky to give to an actor like Arnold Schwarzenegger, especially where English is not his first language. It can be very... It can be very risky to do something like that, and I actually felt like a lot of the things he pulled off.
Yeah. It's the first movie where he really looks kind of downtrodden, and
haggard,
sort of browbeaten, haggard, frail even at some points. Yeah,
exactly. And I believed it. And I know that he's like this massive guy with big fuck off muscles and all that, but there was a vulnerability to him in certain moments that I was very surprised to see, which elevated the movie for me. And also him and Gabriel Byrne have wonderful villain hero chemistry, which I think is so good. Okay, there's a lot of moments in the movie, a lot of moments where you go, no, right? But there are also moments where I was going, fuck, this is fun,
Yeah. Okay.
So that was my general. I really liked it. I see it for what it is, but also I'm able to detach that part of my brain that goes, oh, this is what movies should look like now, right? And I'm able to go, this was made in 1999, and look all the craft that went into all of these practical effects, and these are definitely miniatures, and I can't wait to look this up for VFX and whatever.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay, so we begin with... Can
I tell you what I've written? I've written, first off, the ho-ho-he-ho here sounds very much like the ho-ho-he-ho from Sleepy Hollow.
Okay.
And I was second-guessing myself on that one, so I watched the opening scene from Sleepy Hollow. It sounds nothing like it, but at the same time, there is there's a choral.
So he got like a couple of kids, like John Debney got a couple of kids. There's one that represents the God side of things, like the angelic side, which is the la 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 la. And then there's the other side, which is the satanic side, which is scary. So lolo lolo is a motif.
It's gone off the rails.
It's gone off the rails. There's going to be a lot of clipping as well.
Heavy episode.
Yeah. So it's a motif that repeats itself over and over and over again. And at some point it gets a little bit much. I also wanted to talk about the upside down Hebrew in the opening title sequence.
I noticed that too.
A little bit of upside down Hebrew. And then...
Because Jews rule Hollywood.
Yes. Also, Peter Hyams, the director of the movie, is a New York Jew.
Oh.
So, yes. Oculus Deus, or Deu, whatever. What does he say? The eye of God? Oculus Dei.
Oculus Dei.
Oh, before that, I just wrote was it CHH or CCH?
CCH Pounder.
CCH Pounder is a funny name.
Yes, it is.
As a note.
It is.
Please continue.
Yeah.
Oculus Deus.
Oculus Deus or whatever it is, and Hector Salamanca in the Vatican. Who basically, this is before he lost his power of speech, and then afterwards he was just going... I wanted to talk about this, actually. This is a very weighty subject for a movie of this sort of genre. I wouldn't call it something on the level of The Exorcist or something like that, which has loftier intentions. But the idea of if we sacrifice the innocent, we do not deserve to be redeemed is an interesting concept.
Yeah.
It raises some interesting dilemmas about, sort of the good of the many outweighing the needs of the few, and the idea of collateral damage in a war, which is basically a war between the dark and the light. And, it would be easy to just murder Christine, which is what the Vatican Knights want to do, and save the world, right? But Jericho, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, doesn't see it that way, and neither do the Vatican. And
it's also, his story is very interesting because his redemption arc is one of, he's suicidal at the beginning, and he finds, ways to find meaning and to fight, which is, I found that very compelling.
And his meaning, his redemption is in selflessness.
Yeah.
He feels this
he feels
need.
It's his calling.
Yeah, he's being pulled towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew W. Marlowe, who wrote the script, he wrote Air Force One. And
Get
he wrote,
off my plane.
And he wrote Hollow Man. Not necessarily movies that you think would deal with these big philosophical questions. So it's interesting that this is something that can be kind of weaseled out of this movie, I guess.
I don't feel like it needs to be weaseled out. I think the movie is very flawed, but it still manages to create stakes and tension and sort of ask questions, which I think is cool.
Right.
And I don't think the movie is the worse for wear because Schwarzenegger's in it. I think it was a poor casting choice, but I do think that there's a lot to like in it. I think that you're being harsh.
I'm being harsh.
So.
I mean, I'm saying this
That's your
out of
opinion,
I'm saying this out of love.
The hospital scene.
Yeah, there's some real moments of creepy satanic shit in this movie. And you can see that it's also like it's not like a doll; it's a real baby.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
I've written, oh look, it's Professor Sprout.
Grasp your mandrake!
And Ron, very, very well, thank you. Camp.
Very, very well, thank you.
Doing horrid things to a baby.
I think that Miriam Margolis is truly creepy, and to be honest, I wouldn't let her near my kid either.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have let her near all of the Gryffindors and Hufflepuffs either.
Yeah. So then we fast forward to 1999, and we get to meet Gropey Satan.
He's too horny.
He is way too horny. He has facehugger style implantation powers.
Yeah.
He's necking with that woman and just drops a massive fucking grenade down her throat.
Yeah.
While pumping a boob with his right hand.
Very just like goes straight for it.
Yeah, goes straight for the boob. I love how when her husband protests and he just gives him a look of
gives
like
him a look. And it just shuts him up.
It's just
That's
like
how because I think that it establishes very early on, and I don't know if I'm allowed to use this word, but like how rapey of a Satan he is.
Yeah, he is definitely a rapey Satan. He's like looking at him going, "Don't fuck with me while I'm being horny," and then gets on with his business.
It's just a everything is mine and I take what I want and the humans are ants and that whole thing. And I think that establishes that in a very uncomfortable way, but also it establishes it, which is what they came to do.
Yeah. Walking away from an explosion like a boss.
He's so cool.
Yes.
He's so cool and evil.
Yes.
Then you sort of cut to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Doing his best Martin Riggs impression.
He's throwing all this gross shit into the blender and whatever.
Did you see what the thing is that he picks up off the floor?
No.
In your copy. So in the 4K, you can actually see that it's a slice of pizza. And for many, many years, how long has it been? 25 years now? Almost 20, 24 years?
A long time.
I have 26 years.
We're old. Let it go.
Linda Klecklachen.
Martin Klecklachen.
Martin Klecklachen.
First of all, let's talk a little bit about Kevin Pollack's character and his name, Bobby Chicago.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah.
I think the minute that Arnold Schwarzenegger was brought on, they were like, right, so we've got to fuck some of this up. Like, we've got to make this a little less plausible.
Bobby Chicago, brilliant name.
But
also Jericho Kane is JC, not subtle symbolism and whatever.
Listen, it's not poetry.
Yes,
but it is cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
I really like it. It's all cool.
The NYC rooftop scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's the visuals, it's the score, it's the action. When I get to that scene, it's always like, okay, now we've begun. You know what I mean? It's like it just kind of it gets me going.
Yeah.
It's an exciting scene.
I've written here, even the helicopter pilot's shaking his head at Schwarzenegger, asking him to get as close as he can.
Get the fuck down here now.
Get as close as you can. And the guy's like,
no, don't do it.
Get us down! Hurry! There's too much crap on that road. We'll tear off the main rotor. Then get us down as low as you can. Hurry now, go!
And then he's like sort of flying after him like some kind of, trench-coated Peter fucking
also,
Pan on stage.
Yeah, you've got him like that behind him. It's really funny.
But that whole sequence, aside from the fact that he gets lowered to the ground and he starts chasing the guy, and I mean, how would he like?
And then he's just got this thing flapping off.
Yeah,
the back
but
of his
how
coat.
did he get to that? It's like a D-ring. How does he get to it to like kind of disconnect himself from the rope?
Because he's Schwarzenegger. You might as well be asking, how do they unsheath things from their back? Like when they've got swords on their back. It's also something that's unplausible.
No, but also he's got all the.
No, it's unplausible.
Oh, unplausible. Just let it go. There's a deleted scene where you can see him like dragging a fucking helicopter behind. No, not really.
That would be great though. Pulling it behind him like a balloon. Like, it's like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great action scene. It's a classic Schwarzenegger action scene in the middle of this sort of satanic, movie.
It's sort of like the fun bits before it starts getting all heavy and dark and stuff.
Yeah.
You still drinking?
Oh, yeah, we got all liquored up this morning. We start every day that way.
I'm just reading his statement. You said here the guy spoke to you.
Yeah, so what?
The guy doesn't have a tongue.
So apparently, I didn't know this. Like, I thought that in the alleyway, he's kind of like influencing her or something like that.
Call your people. Find them.
I always thought that that's when she starts being a Satan follower, but apparently she was a Satan follower all along, and she's gaslighting him at this point.
Yeah,
so you've been drinking. Well, how did he tell you? How did he say you don't know what you've done? All that stuff. The 1,000 years has ended.
Yeah.
If he's got no tongue. So I like that.
Good catch.
Yeah, I like that. And then they go to, after having shot Thomas Aquinas, who is the priest at the beginning of the movie, who's looking at the eye of God in the sky, and who goes to Hector. Yeah, exactly.
What'd you say? Said there's a storm coming.
So then they go to Thomas Aquinas' apartment, collecting clues. There's a bit of detecting in this movie. A bit of very effective.
A little bit of detecting.
Yep. We'll get there.
What is it?
Yeah. No, I just like that he's reading the thing off the wall. And he goes, "The 1,000 years that ended is the sin to wish you were never born." Blah blah blah. 27, and then he goes.
And then later on, he's reading from the book, and he's like,
27.
27.
I just like that the Bobby Chicago, played by Kevin Pollack, says ends in a football score. That's nice.
27.
It ends in a football score. That's nice.
He's good in everything.
He's great. No, because like he's got this great balance of being like the wisecracking smart aleck in this movie, the best friend, and then like later on he gets to do some real acting. The porcelain albino.
Yes, the porcelain albino.
Let's talk about it.
It's
This is your first time seeing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you think? What did you make of that?
Well, first of all, I went cool because the effect is really cool.
Yeah.
I find a lot of things in this movie to parallel Devil's Advocate in the locations that they take place in, the vibes that they give off, the hallucination. Sort
and
of
the gaslighting
and the nature of it,
Yeah.
So it reminded me of a similar scene, I think, in the subway as well in Devil's Advocate.
Okay, I don't quite remember, but I'll.
Or is it maybe in a dressing room in a shop? I don't remember, but there's a similar kind of
not places that are anywhere near each other.
This is completely what the fuck is wrong with me? But I'm saying that there was there was something about the scene that made me go, this is like Charlize Theron in Devil's Advocate, and kind of like the hallucinations.
It's like a house, a beauty parlor, a church, a boat.
Do you know what, mate?
An airplane.
It's not my fault. So yeah, okay, what did you think of the porcelain albino?
I've seen that many times now, and it just kind of is, but like watching it now, I was going, that's kind of odd.
It is odd.
It's an interesting sequence. It's the first of many Robin Tunney squeals and screams that
I can't stand her.
That go on in this movie. The next thing that I've got written down here is Arnie crying.
Yeah. That's it? Just Arnie crying?
You
don't have anything you want to say about it?
I just written here Arnie crying.
Did you not want to say anything about it?
But you're the first. This is your first time watching it, so
I've said this already in this episode, so I'm not going to keep going on about it. But I do think that he turns in quite a vulnerable.
It's kind of affecting, yeah.
It's also thing with the music box. It's just very affecting.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's not explained until later on.
Yeah.
But you kind of get an idea that he's lost.
He's lost his family.
Yeah. The scene in the church with Rod Steiger.
Do you believe in God?
We had a difference of opinion. I thought that my wife and daughter should live, and he felt otherwise.
That scene made me go, there needs to be a really compelling argument to turn him around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he's this anti, then whatever happens had better be fucking good. Like, he can't put together a couple of clues and go, the devil is in New York, you know, whatever it is.
Right.
And that is paid off. Like,
well, we will get into
the confrontation
Jericho's stellar detecting skills a little bit
as
later
we
on,
go.
as we go. There's an interesting phenomenon in this movie that I haven't encountered in, I don't know, in any other movie. The metal soundtrack is woven into the score, or just sort of laid just underneath it. You can almost not make it out, but you know, you've got Gabriel Byrne walking through the streets of New York, and you've got Rob Zombie's Super Beast under that, and John Debney's like, you know, kind of tones. And it's kind of atonal in a way because it kind of
cancels each other out. Yeah, I always
and it's kind of unsettling. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Did you notice it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you think it was effective?
There are movies where the score is like, you know, like in The Mummy, and it's making you go like, yeah, action, adventure. And then there are the ones that are there to create vibe.
Right.
The only thing I thought about the soundtrack was that it was all vibe. So I feel like it was something there to enhance the vibe and sort of complement the visuals, which I feel it did. I didn't have any moments where I was going, oh, go listen to the soundtrack of this movie, because you know, until you told me listen to the soundtrack of the movie.
The metal songs that are on the music from and inspired by disc are, because there are two discs. There's one with John Debney's score, and there's one with you know, with the songs on it. And a lot of those things, it's not like where you listen to Everything I Do It For You, and it's like over the end credits of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and the theme is woven throughout Michael Kamen's score, or you know, you watch a Bond movie and the you know, the song is at the, you know, is in the beginning credits or whatever,
and it's woven through the score.
And it's woven through the score if it's a, you know, if it's a good score. So yeah, you've got that. You've got those tie-in songs. And in this movie, they use those songs to sell the soundtrack. They use those songs to sell the movie. There are at least 2 music videos that I know of that have clips of the movie in them. There's So Long by Everlast and Super Beast by Rob Zombie.
When the end of days comes, it will have a sound all its own. End of Days. Soundtrack in stores now.
But the thing is that they don't really appear overtly in the movie. They're kind of under the surface.
Yeah. Is this your daughter?
Yes.
This is your wife?
Yes.
What did you make of the dream sequence?
I've written, why is he so horny?
Yeah. He's incredibly horny.
It's interesting how similar the weird horny sex dreams are to the ones in The Devil's Advocate, is what I wrote here. I think he's giving her a preview of what he's going to do to her.
Right.
You know, the way that they're kind of melding into one person, how he's absorbing their essence. I feel like he's threatening her. I feel like he's telling her that that's what he's going to do to her once he's done with her.
Right.
I found it to be very sort of
unsettling.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about the effects because you asked me.
Yeah.
I found them actually to be. I don't know how they, at the time, like 99,
right,
how they were doing something like that so flawlessly. I thought it was not something that I should be watching on the train.
No, I did warn you.
You did. We were talking about, you know, how I can't watch Spartacus on the train. You were like, you can't watch End of Days on the train either.
No.
It just feels like a threat. There's 2 levels to it. There's the level of, oh no, he's just, you know, fucked and absorbed, you know, very well, you know, family, and at the same time he's showing her that he's doing it, and it's the stalker sort of stalking his prey. What happens to
what happens to the wife and the daughter?
No, to the husband. What's his name? Udo. What's his face?
So there's a moment.
Doesn't he punch through his face?
Yeah, there's a little bit later on where he punches his face in. Yeah, and it goes through the back of his head. I want to get to the hospital scene because, first of all, I like the menace of it. I like the fact that he goes up to the guard and he says, "The young boys that you seduce have left their scent upon you. Mm-hmm. Remember who it is that you serve."
The young boys that you seduce have left their scent upon you. Remember who it is that you serve.
It's great.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's very, very good. And he goes into the hospital room and he threatens Thomas Aquinas and he says, they say you have the gift of sight. Then you must know exactly what I'm going to do to you. The payoff of that is when Jericho and Bobby arrive at and I think also Marge, they arrive at the hospital and they see Thomas Aquinas nailed to the ceiling in crucifixion pose. That scene kind of, it goes downhill for me very, very quickly, and I'll tell you why.
Go on.
Because they're reading off his chest, right? He's got carvings in his chest, and I think he's done it himself, right? Mm-hmm. And the doctor who's got his stethoscope around his neck, he goes over and he says,
I think this is written in Latin. When the 1,000 years has ended, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. This next part is not clear. I think it's in English. It says Christ in New York.
This doctor, he's a doctor, right? A medical doctor, and he's working in a hospital. Why does he know Latin?
Let me ask you this, okay? I heard your complaint the other day when you said this to me. And I was like, you know what? When I get to that bit in the movie, I'm going to see if I agree or not.
Yeah.
After having watched the whole movie
mm-hmm.
and seeing how deep Satan's reach goes into just different parts of society, like the cops, he has a hold on different people. It also makes sense to me that the other direction is true as well, and that there would be many agents. That's a stretch. It's a stretch.
There's no precedent for it. He's behaving like
explicitly.
He's behaving like if look, if Arnie had gone to a library or something like that, and there'd been a librarian who's a scholar of the of the ancient arts or something like that, and he brought in photographs.
They needed a mouthpiece. You're right. They needed someone to move things forward. And he just grab
the doctor and they're like, "Here, read the Latin."
You know Latin. Come on, right? That's what you have to do. All of the medical stuff that you have to learn from books and what you learned out of the Latin version of Grey's Anatomy,
right? I'm sure that there are a lot of medical terms that are in Latin or whatever, but he wouldn't be fluent in it like that and just be able to say, "Oh, by the way, the end of days is coming, and I know this because I'm Nostradamus' great grandnephew."
There's no precedent for what I was saying, but I do think that there's a way that you can look at it like that. If you're looking for a no prize,
there is a way of looking at this movie and saying that's your problem.
Well, that is also the other thing I was gonna say,
right?
But there's so much more.
But the thing that follows it is that it says Christ in New York. The doctor reads it off as Christ in New York. Or maybe it's not Christ in New York. Maybe it's Chris in New York. Christine in New York. Christine York. Let's run that through the database and see if any of those names come up.
Yeah.
And it turns out that's exactly the name of the character.
Exactly how it plays out.
The girl. I got to talk to her. Find out what she knows.
Wait, we don't have a name, all right? That would help.
Well, maybe we do. Maybe it's not Christ in New York. Maybe it's Chris in New York, Christine in New York, Christine York. Let's run a DMV check and find out if any of those names come up.
Hello, Christine York.
It always cracks me up. And this time I'm watching it and I just went...
So I wish you hadn't told me
oh my God,
before I watched it, because I knew it was coming, and I do feel like I would have maybe snuffed my coffee.
No, but that's some Batman 66 level of detecting right there.
Funny.
It's a ballpoint banana.
It's really funny.
Yeah. What has yellow skin and rights?
A ballpoint banana.
Right. 2, what people are always in a hurry?
Russian people? Russians!
Right again.
I've got it! Someone Russian is gonna slip on a banana peel and break their neck.
Precisely, Robin. The only possible meaning.
So, okay, I watched the interview with Peter Hyams that Scream Factory did on that Blu-ray, and the interesting reason that he had for Robin Tunney getting her top off was she said that she didn't want to do it, and he said to her, "Well, if you take your top off, in the next scene you're going to be in a bathrobe, and the audience is going to know that you're vulnerable." So she said, "Oh, it's one of those things where it's relevant to the plot. So yeah, sure, great. I'll just take my top off."
To show her nude at the beginning of the scene, she said, "I don't want to do nudity." I said, "I understand that, except if we see your nude, and then you close your bathrobe, and are then attacked in that bathrobe, you will be that much more vulnerable, that much more in danger. The audience, I think, will." And she went, "Oh, okay. She's great to work with."
He couldn't have just told her the truth. "I want to see your boobies."
I want to see your boobies, yes, because that is exactly what it is. It is a really, really pointless scene where you just literally see her boobs for 2 seconds when she's just about to go in the shower. They could have cut well before that.
Yeah.
And just showed her
or
in a
filmed
bathroom
it from behind, or she could have already been in her bathrobe.
Exactly.
It's not necessary.
There's no reason
I
other
don't,
than titillation of
titillation.
Boobs. Yes,
but I don't ever see a reason for it.
It depends.
You've said this before. We've had this conversation before, but I
always
really
use Basic Instinct as an example.
Right. Okay.
That is where she's literally using her body to kill.
Sure.
Yeah.
In that case, fine.
Yeah.
I think that in movies like this, where the only reason to do it is so that you can get the most out of your 18 rating, or whatever, is really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I was watching Spartacus, right? And it's like, you've got people in the arena who are just like jumping up and down, like, and their tits are coming out of their tops.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why? And it's, you could make the argument, in Rome and whatever, it's, everything was less civilized, and that was completely normal, and people had their tits and their dicks out all the time, and that was completely normal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm prepared to believe that. I don't need it all the fucking time.
Yeah,
like,
I just
like this.
I would prefer
and
it.
I love boobs. Let's not okay, it's all right now. I love it.
And so do I. I mean, look, I had a whole thing with Catherine Zeta-Jones.
You did, where you were thinking, wow, that's a profession that I could get into.
I'm not going to cut to it again. Okay.
But yeah.
No, but I just think that it's really hilarious that this guy, he's like in his 80s now or something like that, and he's talking about it as if he had a reason. It's just like, just admit
Tell
it.
the truth.
You just wanted her to get her top off, and you wanted to convince her to do it, and you made up some bullshit script reason, and she ended up doing it. So anyway,
I've written, no way Kevin Pollack doesn't car kit Harry style.
Right,
which is what I wrote after the I think it was after the hospital.
Right, you just sort of like twigged it. At
I
that
just
point.
sort of went, he's giving me Harry vibes.
Yeah.
From Speed.
Yeah.
Cut to his face before he goes.
There's this whole thing with Robin Tunney's character being attacked by the Vatican Knights, and Arnold Schwarzenegger comes in and he rescues her, and that's how they get together, right? Mm-hmm. And then they have a shared vision of maggots in an apple that turn into like people like writhing around, CG people in an apple.
Really cool effect, by the way.
Then you've got the explosion, like you've got Gabriel Byrne goes outside to take a piss. And he pees gasoline, and it like snakes its way all the way to the van. This is really interesting, like original like stuff,
powers and stuff.
Yeah, really cool. He pees out like this sort of black stuff, and it snakes its way towards the van where Kevin Pollak's character is waiting, and he like lights a cigarette, and he flicks it into the gasoline, and it goes all the way. It blows up all the cars on the block and the van, and I love how you see the cuts between Kevin Pollack and Gabriel Byrne. Kevin Pollack realizes, he gets out of the van, he looks down, he sees that he's about to go on fire, and he goes, and then you've got Gabriel Byrne mocking him, going, like that. And it's just the way that it's cut together is just so cool. And I've always loved that.
I wrote, hey, Kevin Pollack cocked it.
Yeah, there you go. And then you've got Miriam Margolyes as the stepmother. She comes in and she's like beating the shit out of Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's that whole
Hysterical. She's so small and he's so big. It's so funny.
Yeah. We go into the back alley and you got that whole thing with Jesus, Marge, what the fuck?
Marge, over here, we need your help. Easy with the hardware. Jesus, Marge, what the fuck?
I don't know if you noticed this. There's this weird electronic sound when he like sort of brings her back to life and he says, call your people, find them. Mm-hmm. And then she sort of like ominously sits up. And he goes, rah, rah, rah,
stop doing that. That just gave me a shiver. It's very creepy.
Call your people, find them.
That electronic sound, keep that in mind because I'll come back to it a little bit later.
All right, fair enough.
So the Satan's deal scene, right? So he's trying to convince him to come over to the dark side. First of all, Gabriel Byrne is he's chewing the, he's loving it.
He's running rings around
He's running rings around Arnold Schwarzenegger. But Arnie, it's kind of hybrid. It's a hybrid performance. It's oftentimes terrible and oftentimes brilliant. And he seesaws between those two extremes several times in this same scene.
All you have to do is tell me where the girl is. Come on. She's a nobody to you. You don't even know her. You're in the middle of something you don't really understand. You think you're saving her from me? She wants to be with me. You know.
It's actually interesting because this scene really showcases the depths that he can go to as an actor, which we don't get to see in a lot of movies. I absolutely love this confrontation scene.
Yeah, it's great. It's so well written as well.
I'm not sure how many movies I've seen Arnie act so broken in.
You're a choir boy compared to me. A choir boy.
You want to fuck with me? You think you know bad, huh? You're a fucking choir boy compared to me. A choir boy.
I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way, if I'm being honest with you. Like the seesaw thing. Like, if you were to take that out of the movie, it would be a lesser movie for it, I think.
Yeah.
And then the takeaway that I had from it was... it's a great scene that answers my question of how do the main characters get convinced this is real? Because there's like this whole thing where Gabriel Byrne kind of puts, word to it. Like he kind of says like, how did I get in? The doors are locked. There's no windows broken.
Right.
He starts trying to walk him through it to bring him to a place of belief. Right. And then he shows him this vision of his family. And
being
then
murdered.
At first he's showing them still alive and happy, and he only shows the murder when Arnie's not biting.
He's very convincing.
Yeah,
and it's
the sympathy for the devil thing really works for him.
Oh, look at you, torn apart by guilt. You didn't do anything wrong. You're an honest cop. You didn't take money. You had to testify against them even after they threatened your family. And where was God? He could have stopped it, but he didn't. He fucked you. And then he made you feel guilty. Me, I don't do guilt. I didn't do what happened here. He did.
It's that Hans Lander thing of being so charming and so convincing and being able to make anybody do what you want them to do. And Gabriel Byrne pulls this off wonderfully.
There's a moment where Arnold's hanging out the side of the window, and there's like glass all over the window, and Gabriel Byrne is like smashing his hands with his shoes, with his feet. Not only has Satan sort of proved his credentials, but he's also showing him, I'm a credible threat.
Right.
Jericho being able to sort of one-up him and get him out the window as well. And
that he kind of grabs him and pulls him out the window,
is a great sort of like, I'm man enough to take you down.
Yeah.
I just love the scene. I think that it sets the stakes for the rest of the movie. It's the meeting that we were waiting for up until this point. And I wouldn't have it without the hammy lines
it gives it its own special flavor, doesn't it? There are a couple of scenes where I feel like they could have been snipped very easily. There's a few times when they keep cutting back to the Vatican, and it's literally a scene where like
someone's updating
someone's updating Hector Salamanca. They come and they say the girl has been found, and then when Satan actually does manage to abduct Christine, so then you get another scene We've lost her. These are, just sort of really superfluous scenes just to show us that the Vatican's still there.
It's involved, yeah.
Yeah, it's still there.
Kevin Pollack comes back.
Yes.
Right after Satan
Right after the
falls.
Satan's deal, yeah.
I wrote, no way not dead Kevin Pollack isn't working for Satan.
So this is what I wanted to talk about. The scene in the alleyway with CCH Pounder, there's that rah, 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 rah. When Christine gets in the car with Kevin Pollack, as soon as she gets in the car, before he even does anything to show that he's working for Satan, that comes back.
Tommy, what the hell are you doing?
It's just this great little audio cue, like just showing you that,
Leitmotif.
what's about to happen. Yeah. And then he drives away, obviously, and you realize Kevin Pollack has made a deal with the devil.
Hey, not dead Kevin Pollack is working for Satan.
There you go. There you go. The scene in the rain was always way too dark to see what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And obviously on the 4K with the HDR, you can see a lot more now, and you can see what Peter Hyams was going for. Apparently Arnie was very, very disappointed with the way the film looked. And the way that Peter Hyams, who also acted as DP, the way that he lit the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But now I can see that it's a very well shot scene, and it's all backlit in the dark, in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful scene. It's so well shot, and it's brutal as fuck. You've got a lot of them, and the sound of the thumping of the bats on him. And then he gets strung up in a crucifixion pose on a cross.
Crucifixion, good.
Crucifixion, good. Out of the door, line on the left, one cross each. Next.
What's also cool in general about Schwarzenegger's performance and the character itself is that he's not a superhero. He's not like invincible. He's not got like one of those sort of trademark Arnold Schwarzenegger things where you knock him down, he gets back up, and he'll punch you and you'll go flying into next week. He gets the shit kicked out of him. He gets strung up on a cross. He sleeps in till the next day at 6 p.m. And then he gets up and he goes, like, there's a suit up sequence.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a suit up sequence of a guy who is hurting, who is basically almost limping. And he's
got some internal bleeding there.
And he's got some internal bleeding, and he's putting together this arsenal. Not only does he make a decision to be selfless and go and protect somebody, like with no personal gain whatsoever. He's probably going to die doing it, but also he's incredibly vulnerable, and yet he just gets up and keeps going, and that's what makes him a hero.
It's an almost Batman level of sort of dragging yourself through the pain because you have a mission.
Yeah.
And I picked up on that as well.
Yeah.
I was very surprised by, not very surprised because we've seen him act in a lot of stuff, but the performance that he gives of his conflict and his decision making, and then his pain afterwards, as he's being immolated, I believe would be the word to describe it, is wow.
Oh, Bobby.
Wow. So good.
I thought we had a deal.
It's great.
Yeah, and I just love the way that he just like sort of touches his arm and that like spreads the flame. Yeah, and the way that he screams is also like very blood curdling. Yeah. It's like, it's very good. I want to talk about a little bit before that when he's walking down the tunnel and he meets the old man, and he says, "You have much hatred and vengeance in your heart. You may pass."
Yeah.
You have much hatred and vengeance in your heart. You may pass.
And then he goes down, and you got all this beautiful candlelit sequence, and CCH Pounder sort of clocks him or whatever. It's a great atmospheric sequence, and you've got the score in the background, you've got the chanting from the Satanists, and you've got Guns N' Roses underneath it. He's got Christine like lying on a slab, and he's gonna take her. And I love that Arnold Schwarzenegger's character thinks he can go in with guns and just like pointed at him and go, "Let her go, or I'm gonna shoot you." Like it's just this great like naivety of the same thing that Rick O'Connell has, that sort of like gung ho thing, and you've got Oded Fehr saying to him the whole time,
Bullets can't stop it.
Bullets cannot kill this creature. He's not of this world. So yeah. good time. I love that whole sequence. I love everything that it leads to as well, because Bobby Chicago goes on fire, Schwarzenegger lights the rest of the place on fire, and it's just one big explosion after another, and that whole thing on the train is great.
The train sequence
is
insane.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah,
not just from we can talk about the technical visual effects of it and everything.
Yeah, but
like it kind of ramps up to this whole thing where Gabriel Byrne is then like, you know, completely bisected.
Yeah, the whole meat suit is like has gone to pot.
Like they have to sort of justify
various levels
him
of
not being in the suit anymore.
Right.
Jericho! How can you expect to defeat me when you are but a man? And I am forever!
What did you think of the finale? Tell me what you thought.
I was watching the church sequence and I was going, if this is CG, I'm gonna eat my face. Like
why?
Because it was so tangible. They have the ceiling collapse and they have all of the pews, like, you know, like it's all going down. There's definitely a realization, I think, on the part of me as the viewer that's going, Schwarzenegger's not making it out of this, you know, film.
Right.
Right. There is an awesome Satan effect, which, you know, I'm going to talk about the hows and the whys of it afterwards, but the sequence itself is really cool. I think that it's also perfect that Gabriel Byrne's meat suit was destroyed in that train sequence, because I think it would have had to have happened that way. Like, you know, it's a possession.
Right.
And you have to show Satan. You have to show the horns.
Yeah.
You got to show the monster.
Yeah. At some point, yeah.
Exactly. Like, even if it's just like in a reflection, or it's just like, we got to see it. We see little hints of it in his sort of invisible, ripply form.
Yeah.
Predator form.
Predator style, yeah.
Which is a very similar effect, I think, is how they did it. But I couldn't find any information on that, just in case you're wondering. I think that the act of selflessness, of self-sacrifice that he performs is actually very earned.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that anywhere along the way it doesn't fit with his character. He is suicidal. He is finding a new purpose for himself, something that's bigger than him.
There's also like a great amount of willpower because he's possessed by the devil. Yeah.
And I also think that his acting as the devil is also really good.
What's wrong?
Nothing is wrong. Everything is the way it should be.
Everything is as it should be.
It's great.
Yeah.
And I was just really surprised at how successful a finale is, because as soon as the train section was over, I was like, there is no way that they're sticking the landing after that sequence.
And in your opinion, they did?
And I think they did.
Okay.
I think they did. I don't have the qualms with this film that you thought I was going to have.
No, I wondered, like, because for me it's nostalgia and it's a guilty pleasure and blah 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 blah. But it's like, you know, watching it again, I actually enjoyed it on a different level this time. That I thought that you know, that obviously the silly things and the, you know, it's
the silly stuff is still
666-999 is in 1999 and turn it upside down and it's the mark of the, you know, all that hokum.
But I would say that a good 75% of this film is actually not that. Like, I feel like I would say that
I'd say that's
the
fair.
bulk of it is listen, there are, as a gamer, right? There are games that are 10 out of 10, and there are games that are 9 out of 10 and 8 out of 10. That's like a sweet spot, and you know that you're going to have a good time. Then there's a 7 out of 10, which is also perfectly acceptable, but you go into it knowing that there's going to be some naff.
Right.
And I feel that that's also the same for movies, and you can kind of grade it on that scale where you can say this is a B movie, it's a 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10.
Right.
But the bits of it that are, you know, naff are outweighed by the cool stuff and the good stuff. And I think that Arnold Schwarzenegger's performance is awesome. That end sequence is really cool.
I love the sort of wave of fire.
Yeah. Shosh was asking me what movie was it, and I tried to pitch it to her. And she was like, on her phone and not interested. I don't know why
Not
she
even
even
listening
asked.
to you.
I don't know why she
No.
asked. And I just sort of said to her, let me just tell you what's interesting to me about this, right? I know you don't care, but I'm
Right.
just telling you. What's interesting is that our podcast is based on a feeling of nostalgia, right? Even when we're watching a new movie,
Yeah.
we're talking about the movies that we think of when we're watching that movie. Like,
Right.
you know, Wicked, we talk about all
But
the
also,
Broadway
like, if you
stuff
think
and-
about, like, you know, a movie that I didn't watch when I was a kid, which was Monster Squad.
Right.
And when I watched that, I got nostalgia feels because of the time that it was
Stranger
made.
Things
and
makes you feel the same
exactly,
thing.
Yeah.
So I was saying to her, this is a movie where Johnny is motivated by nostalgia and
Yeah.
I'm not.
Right.
And I think that's going to be an interesting thing to explore.
Right.
I actually found it to be like Stranger Things in that way, that I
But
was
also
able
it's
connect to that time again.
Yeah, it's like one of those movies from a bygone era of action movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't make them like that anymore.
No, they don't. Now watching it as a husband and as a father, seeing the two of them, the wife and the daughter, appearing to him as he-
Schwarzenegger shish kebabs himself on an archangel sword, right? Which is sticking out of a statue, right?
Right.
And he's what? Shish
Yes.
kebabs?
Yeah, no, it's
I'd
great.
say that that's
It's
fine.
great. It's great. Perfect.
Doing great. And I think that you know him, and he sees his family, which
Right.
also Robin Tunney's character sees them as well.
Yes.
Which is also like, is this really happening? Yes, this
Yes.
is really
Yeah, yeah,
happening.
yeah.
He's being rewarded for his
Mhm.
selflessness,
Yes.
which, you know, I think is also another layer of poignancy which the
Right.
scene needed.
But also, like, in terms of, like, you want to talk about Schwarzenegger's performance, that sort of, that smile, that kind of weak, you know, I'm done here smile.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, it's like, it's really
Very
great.
affecting.
And then John Debney, for the first time in the movie, turns that no into this, like, sort of major scale positive, you know, like sweeping orchestral, you know, kind of motif that you know, makes you feel like you know, the light
sun's
side
come
has won.
out.
The sun's come out.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was struck this time by exactly how beautiful that part of the score is.
Yeah.
In general, like, I enjoyed this viewing, and I thought that, yeah, it's a good point that you made, that the finale, sometimes in these movies, the finale is, like, you know, completely
It's not as good as
fucked.
its best set piece.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you look at Blade,
Yeah.
and the best set piece is the opening sequence, you know, and it can never bring itself back from that.
Are you out of your damn mind?
Right. But like, but here, you know, it's a movie that's not very well regarded, but, like, you know, it's great.
You can understand why.
Yes.
But
it's a lot of fun,
it's,
though.
It's, again, it's a 7 out of 10. Any video game that I've played that is a 7 out of 10, and it knows it's a 7 out of 10. This movie knows what it is.
Yes.
Right. I'm able to understand why people don't like it,
Mhm.
but there's room for it. I
Yeah.
think. I don't think it's a bad film by any means. I think there's a lot of craft that went into it. I think that there's some awesome character moments. Robin Tunney's character being completely useless, notwithstanding. I like the way she says thank you to him at the
Yeah.
end. That she didn't just, you know, start crying next to his body or
Yeah.
something. There's an element of gratitude to it. Like
But it's also, it's like, it's kind of that that feeling of, I've known you for 24 hours and
You've
you
changed
know,
my life.
You've changed my life, but at the same time, it's not like I'm going to start crying over your body like you're my best friend,
Yeah.
you know? Like, there's a context to it. It's like, okay, let's take this as it is.
As it
you know?
is, yeah. The response is proportionate.
Yeah. So it is that was very well judged. Yeah. Okay.
I really like the movie.
Great. I'm happy. I'm
I
happy
can
that
see
you
you're
like the
happy.
movie.
Look at his little face. Look at his face.
Should we go to Trivia Corner?
Trivia.
All right, let's do it properly. Trivia Corner. Udo Kier claimed in an interview that he was considered for the role of Satan in the film, but the producers didn't want the hero and villain to both have German and Austrian accents. He was eventually cast in a secondary role.
Right choice was made, I think.
Yeah. When Universal found it difficult to find a director for the project, James Cameron is the one that suggested Peter Hyams to Arnold Schwarzenegger. The role of Jericho Kane was originally written for... Drumroll, please.
Am I supposed to guess? Bruce Willis?
No.
No.
Tom Cruise.
Interesting.
But instead, he chose to work on Magnolia.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gabriel Byrne plays both good and evil in the same year. Satan in this film, and a Catholic priest in Stigmata.
Oh, okay. Do you know what other role he has that I think is very layered and nuanced, which makes me think that Gabriel Byrne is really a very, very talented actor?
Is it The Usual Suspects?
D'Artagnan.
Oh, it's D'Artagnan. Yeah.
I think that it's such a layered performance.
There's a few of those. I think that he's excellent in The Usual Suspects.
He is.
He's excellent in The Man in the Iron Mask, but also a more recent film in Hereditary.
I haven't seen Hereditary.
He plays the husband in Hereditary.
And he's good? Okay.
Years later, Miriam Margolis revealed on a talk show that she did not enjoy her first and only working experience with Arnold Schwarzenegger, citing the odd reason that in their scene together, he farted in her face. I read that, or actually I heard that at the time, and I thought, I really hope her mouth was open when he did it. So,
wow. You almost got like a second earlier that I would have put that to my mouth and you would have gotten sprayed.
Please rephrase that.
I will not rephrase that.
Kate Winslet, Liv Tyler, and Jennifer Connelly were all considered for the role of Christine York, but turned it down. Any one of those. Honestly.
Would have been fine.
Any one of those instead of Robin Tunney.
Yep.
Sam Raimi was offered the director's chair on this film, but he declined in order to make For the Love of the Game, which is the only Sam Raimi film I think that I have not seen.
I haven't seen it either.
Oh. After Jericho runs out of the church with Christine, the alleyway they enter is the same as that used in the TV series Angel, which is supposed to take place in the same year, 1999.
Okay.
That's that alleyway where he's walking with the coat and the...
Shit, and his reflection is in the water even though he's a vampire, which didn't bug the visual effects artist at all.
In an interview with SAG-AFTRA in 2002, Rod Steiger said he did not get along with Peter Hyams at all. One day, Steiger got so infuriated, he said to Hyams, "I have to tell you, my friend, I could break your fucking head. I don't like you. I know you don't like me.
Dang.
We will never like each other. Let's get this goddamn thing over with. I want to go home."
Fuck.
Steiger said he toned it down for a while after that.
That's professionalism.
An alternate ending was filmed in which Jericho resurrects after impaling himself on the sword of the statue and then leaves the church with Christine. Test audiences preferred the ending where Jericho dies. Even though the resurrection ending was never released, it was used in a novelization of the movie. The way it turned out is the way it should be. There was another alternate scene in addition to the one where he resurrects. On the train sequence before Satan leaps across the carriages, he points and says, "Jericho, I will cast you down like my father did to me at the beginning of time." This was in the test screening, but cut from the final version. There was also quite a lot of censoring around the world. The Philippine theatrical version completely removes Christine's nightmare sequence and edits out some of the violent scenes, such as Satan driving his fist through the train driver's body. And also in India, they cut about 9 minutes from the movie.
Dang.
This is the first non-Terminator film in which Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a character who dies, making this the first human character he plays that ends up dying.
Yep.
And that's all I've got. That was Trivia Corner. So this is the first time in quite a few episodes that you actually have some cavalcade stuff.
Roll the thing. Come with me and step into the spine-tingling confusion known as Si's rambling cavalcade of nonsense.
I was surprised. There's a lot of practical stuff.
Yeah.
The train sequence is, obviously it's minis, but if you watch the featurette, they go into the resolutions that other people, normal people not in the field would say no one's going to see those details.
Right.
Primary details, secondary details,
right,
and tertiary details.
Right.
Tertiary details being things like pores, roughed up edges,
right,
dirt, grime.
It's also like subconscious stuff that you would notice if it wasn't there.
Exactly. So when something looks too clean, you're going to go, that's bad CGI.
Right.
But you can't figure out why.
Right.
So fingerprint smudges that you can see from certain angles when the light catches it, like you would have with a phone screen. We're just talking about like really basic like VFX stuff, okay? When you think about how small these carriages are, the attention to detail of these guys who are just like rubbing dirt into these little panels that you're not going to see from close up,
right,
but that match the lighting as well.
Yeah.
Like the lighting setup was referenced, recreated to scale, because light does not scale. Like, it doesn't work that way. If you have something smaller and you create a light setup that's exactly the same as what you used in an actual train station, it's going to be blown out and overexposed and crazy. They had to recreate the lighting setup exactly how it was so that it would match. The amount of work that goes into practical work, but the payoff is insane, right? Just to pay attention to the amount of work that goes into something like that and the amount of work that goes into something that's CG that looks good, it's the same amount of work and detail.
Especially when you're talking about 1999, which is a mere 6 years after Jurassic Park came out, and Jurassic Park was really the first movie to produce creatures that were sort of flesh and blood, and you had
reacted to lighting and reacted to rain.
Because you had things like the T-1000 and the sort of
it was also groundbreaking.
Yeah, it was also groundbreaking, but the evolution from the water in the abyss to the T-1000 in Terminator 2 to Jurassic Park to, I don't know, Blarp even in Lost in Space to this, they're dealing with evolving technology, something that's still really, really new, and what they were able to achieve in that amount of time.
Look, the CG stuff is mostly at the end.
Yeah.
The train
they used
sequence,
it more sparingly than...
They did it. They saved it for the stuff that they couldn't do practically.
Yeah.
But here's an interesting thing about that ending sequence.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna one more thing about the train is that they made it so that it could crumple an accordion shape, right?
Yes.
To create that crash.
Yeah.
The really clever thing that they did with the church as well. The church is a miniature. I mean, obviously they filmed in an actual church, but they recreated it. I can't remember what exactly they said the actual size and length of it was, but a grown person could stand up in it. But it was like, think about how big a real church is and how big that church is. It's about the size of this room, something like that.
They were able to blow out the windows and make the pews like.
They had like this rig along all the pews, right? There's a scene where the pews are moving, and what they had was this rig where they're pulling this rail underneath it. And it's pushing them up, but they can all slot back down again.
Yeah.
So they could do multiple takes.
Right.
And they had that same mentality about every stage of destruction. They had stained glass windows, which, they were very small, but they made 4 versions of them so that they could get 4 takes.
Yeah.
And just they slotted out and slotted in a new one, right? And they just compressed air, with an air cannon to blow those windows out.
Right.
And then the ceiling crumbles. And how they did this blew my mind. I thought it was really cool. And it makes perfect sense when you think about it, but sorry about the nerding out. But there's this great thing that they did where they created it as puzzle pieces that were initially broken apart. And they sort of glued them together and filled in the cracks.
Right.
And were able to collapse it multiple times. And if they needed to do it again, they just set it up.
Right.
And it's the mentality of, it's not we're going to create this house set and we're going to blow it up and there's one chance to get it right. They didn't have that mentality. They had a reuse mentality, which I thought was really clever, innovative. It really raised the level of respect that I had for that. And I thought already it was really cool looking, but to understand just how much of it was practical was very surprising to me.
Yeah, okay.
The Satan beast.
Yeah.
Is that practical or is it CG?
Well, you're asking me as if you're testing me, but I
I'm not
know
testing
the answer
you.
to this.
Oh, you know the answer, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you because it's my segment.
Yeah.
The point is they created this really big suit.
Yes.
And it's all this lovely detail.
It's Stan Winston.
And they had a guy inside it and several puppeteers, and they had it towering over Arnold Schwarzenegger. And they get to post-production and they go, this isn't big enough.
Right.
And
so they
replaced every shot that it was in. They used it as reference. They used the lighting as reference. Also, speaking of lighting, they had to match the lighting exactly for the church. And again, it doesn't scale, so they had to, I rewatched the whole scene. I wanted to see if I could find seams.
Right.
It's hard. You can find them if you've watched the featurette and you know exactly where those shots are because they show you. But it's really quite seamless and impressive. And then you have this CG Satan beast, but that is completely taken from, you know, a live reference. Yeah. So the movement and the lighting of it and the detailing of it is all one-to-one. They just, you know, they had to replace it with a CG that would be the size of a T-Rex and fill up the whole space.
Right.
Which, if I'm being honest with you, I was a little bummed about. I think that they should have kept the practical prosthetic suit. Mm-hmm. Having him tower over Arnold Schwarzenegger is big enough. Yeah. I really think that. I think that less is more would have been better. Mm-hmm. What they did with the fire was also pretty cool. That they had do you know about this? They had the fire on a rig, and they mirrored it. They shot it, I think, twice, and they just like had the fire shooting because it's you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He sort of shish kebabbed himself, right?
Yeah.
And you know, the fire comes out of him, and it's just shooting in this straight line. So they had like a rig for that, and then the rest of the scene is just composited fire in post.
Yeah.
The mix of... I always get very sort of bleary-eyed about the perfect mix and marriage between CG and practical. Those two things coming together, that's how it's supposed to be done. It's not a magic button. It's a fucking craft.
Yeah.
The disrespect that goes... you know, just thrown around willy-nilly by people who go, now AI can do it. But it will never reach... I'm not saying this movie's a masterpiece. It's not. I'm not saying that the effects in it are... But watching how much effort went into creating something that feels tangible is inspiring. That's it.
Size rambling cavalcade of nonsense.
I'm glad you enjoyed that. I'm very happy about it.
Yeah? You pleased with yourself?
Yeah.
Good choice?
Yeah, no.
Also picked a movie that you're okay with me watching on my phone.
I've also got some notes here for What Lies Beneath, so we will get round to that at some point, but you need to watch that not on a phone.
I gotcha.
You probably shouldn't have watched this on a phone either, but whatever.
I mean, I would have, now that you've described what the 4K looks like, I probably would have enjoyed it more, but
So
it just,
gorgeous.
I can't find time.
But it is gorgeous.
Yeah. In the intervening time between episodes,
yes.
You've been to America and come back.
I have indeed.
And and I had a baby. My wife had a baby.
Yes.
I was next to her, but I can't take credit for it.
No.
But you know, so 3 kids now.
Yeah.
Hence why I look like I'm about to drop dead.
No.
How bad does it look? Bags under my eyes.
Yeah.
It's like some time went by, but we're still doing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we recorded Wild Wild West in May, and it took me 3 months to edit the thing. So we'll see where we are with this Halloween episode.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
You'll get it done.
Yeah,
I think you'll get it done. Even if you get it done at Christmas, it'll be
okay, get it done at Christmas. Yeah. Well, it's a New Year's movie, so there you go.
Works.
Yeah, it works. It works indeed. Well, thank you for joining us. And
we appreciate it. We appreciate you, and we appreciate the people who work really hard to make things look good.
We'll be back again at some point.
What's our seat number?
Jesus, Marge! What the fuck?